Welcome to the In My Opinion Show. I'm your host, Ronald Barry Robinson. With us we have Ms. Martone Hatter.
Good evening.
Next we have Mr. Terry Bankert.
Good evening, Ron.
Next we have Mr. Henry Hatter.
Good evening, Ron.
Welcome all to the In My Opinion Show.
Thank you for having us.
You're more than welcome. Black History. Should there be a Black History Month? If so, why? Should there be a White History Month, a Native American History Month, and a History Month for all other once foreign nationalities? Martone, what is your opinion?
I've got two, Ron. Personally, I don't feel that our history should be relegated to just 1 month, especially since it's the shortest month of the year. However, Black history is not generally taught in schools throughout the year, and there is somewhat of a necessity to expose all children to a variety of cultures, not just Black history, but Hispanic, Native American, because it's not in our history books.
Why?
Well, I'm not the one who writes the books. You tell me. I think it's very hard for America to judge itself. We can put the Holocaust in the history books because Hitler wasn't the one in charge of America, and we weren't the ones who were responsible for killing millions of Jews. However, it's hard for one to critique. It's hard for somebody to critique themselves. And when you introduce Black history and Native American history and Hispanic history, there's lots of enslavement and oppression of minorities. And it's hard, I believe it's hard for Americans to realize the injustices that took place at a point in time. So I think that might be part of the reason as to why that's not in our history books. It's just a small section. It's in there, but it's very, very small and very succinct.
Do you think that will change?
Given time, maybe, but it's not about to change right now. So I guess, in a sense, we do need a Black History Month, or just like a Hispanic History Month, even to get that exposure that is needed to get our children, every child, exposed to different cultures and different backgrounds. But I really, honestly, personally, don't feel we should have to have one.
I agree with you. I really think that we should have diversity. Terry, what is your opinion?
I think we should have a Black History Month. The United States of America condoned slavery. As an organized sovereign nation, we fought a war over it. We ended it. And historically now, Black History Month is institutionalized as a way to give recognition to the value and beauty of Black culture. It's also a way for the white community every year to render a symbolic apology for everything that happened by our participation in Black History Month too. The Hispanic community wasn't enslaved. The other communities aren't enslaved. I think there's a real need for Black History Month and absolutely a need to continue it.
Henry, what is your opinion?
Well, I like the way Terry speaks of this. I like Alexa's comment. But I'm going to be divergent, very strongly divergent. I think that when you say, we've been enslaved, so therefore we must wallow in our body fluids and stuff like that, I'm just not for it. There's no grace in that. There must have been, even when we had slaves, we must have been people of value. We must have loved and hated and wanted to become free. We were not just passive people. We were people of value. But the way they paint it, I'm appalled. And I look at the white history, if you will. Now, there was a time the whites were enslaved. They've always been in conflict. All you have to do is look at the Napoleonic Wars. Look at the wars in Europe. Look at, for example, the wars in Great Britain and between Great Britain and Ireland. And other parts of the world, we will find nothing but suffering in the same kind of way that the blacks suffered here. They were indentured servants, they were slaves, in ancient Greece they had slaves and stuff like that, and wherever they went in and conquered countries, The Romans did. They enslaved them. They made concubines of the women and stuff like that. So we need to get past this. American history is something altogether new for the world. We're a melting pot. We've melted, and all of us are different because of our blood dynamics. Part of us are Irish, and if you're a black American, you can't get away from your white heritage because it's there, or the Native American heritage. And there are those who pretend that we're not, but then there are others who embrace theirs like I embrace mine, which is Irish American Indian. So, and the English. And so I don't give that up just to say that we need to have necessarily a Black History Month, because I think that if you want black people to be elevated in the world, because there are only a very few giants out there among all mankind. Everybody does not become a Martin Luther King. Everybody does not become Caesar. Everybody does not become a Ronald Reagan, or Franklin Roosevelt, or Abraham Lincoln, or Einstein. Only few, or Duke Ellington. Only few of us rise to prominence so that we're accepted by our people of the world. And I think what going on in America now, and I'm closer to this subject because I am on the school board. It doesn't mean I know everything, but I'm trying to know everything about this. But schools are responding now to the damage that they've done to black Americans by supposedly enslaving them. But the school systems are moving the black history component into textbooks at a rate faster than the kids have ability to absorb it. And if kids don't care about black history, they don't care about, I wouldn't say that they wouldn't care about Martin Luther King because they're taught that. But there are people who don't care about the everyday lives of other people. There are white kids that don't even know who their grandparents were. They don't care. That's not their focus. So to try to, you put it out there and based upon their interest and enthusiasm for the subject, just let them absorb it.
Henry, let me ask you, let me propose this question to you. As descendants of Africans, do we need to continually use the word black to identify ourselves?
You know,
we were born in America.
Yeah. You know, that's the first real great things that you will be remembered for. People will quote you for saying that. Just like they quoted Churchill and other people. Do we have to be called black? Remember I said that I think that we're Americans. Everybody else knows that I'm black. I don't have to tell them I'm black. I live in Kyle, 99% white. And they, you know what? They know what color I am. They know what color you are too. But just to go out and reinforce ourselves and to a supposition that we're unique because we identify ourselves by being black. Doesn't do anything for our growth and development. As a matter of fact, it impedes us. We have to move into there among other people who are either equal to us or better than we are, so that we can supersede what they have contributed to humanity. Like Terry Banker. I come here every month to be better than Terry Banker because he's good at what he does.
Terry, I know you were just itching to say something. Please share it with our multitude of viewing audiences out there.
Well, I think there's one reality that hits here. An Irish can marry a German, can marry a Polak, can have grandbabies with a Texan, okay, and they're white. Black American, by skin color, will stand separate and apart. Can have a white mother, an Irish mother, can be multiple generations with white influence, but there's still the skin that separates. And skin should not be a stigma, it should be an honor. And that is the one thing that separates the mixing and the melting pot of the races that makes this situation different. There's a history of oppression, and there's a difference that can never be denied. And a person could be raised in a manner that their self-perception and the influences of their environment were right. But when they look in the mirror and walk outside, they're black and they're treated differently. And we have to organize to stop that. And this is one way to do it. So I understand your argument, Mr. Hatter, and keep on trying. But I'm not that. But the honest answer is that the DNA of race will make the final melting impossible. So we need to recognize the value of all cultures, particularly the black history in its culture, and cause it to be raised up and not allow it to be a stigma and not allow anybody to ever return to that. And this is a reminder. This is the reality of where we're at, not where we want to be. And so we need Black History Month, and we need to maintain the awareness.
And the reality of it all is that through DNA testing, the GNOME Project, we're all 99.9%
The same gene.
same gene. We're going to change subject.
Just another comment here. You know, I like what Terry said, but you know, we're always going to have racism. But what the rest of the world must do is moderate the extremes, and that's what the rest of humanity does. Humanity will take care of it. The American people will take care of it, because you're always going to have people who don't like black people because they're black. But the rest of the world don't give a hoot about what your color is or what religion you are. The people don't ask you. They don't get involved with you. They know what you are, and so we got to learn to live with these extremes, but not cave into them.
Exactly. And I know you want to move on, but let me say this. Black history, and this is to everyone out there, Black history doesn't just encompass Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. I think when we have Black History, we have Black History Month, we need to be mindful of all of the African Americans who have made great contributions to this country. And when I walk down the different schools halls, and I just see Martin Luther King, I like to see other people that made great contributions, not just those that happen to have the spotlight on them.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We're going to move on. Terry, I'm going to propose this question to you first, please. The Genesse Land Bank. What is the Genesse Land Bank? What is its functions? And is it too powerful?
Genesse Land Bank, under my understanding, under state statute, has the ability to pick up land that's going into tax foreclosure and to get it, I assume, at some